Welcome everyone. Hail to my fellow Selvan citizens. I am I.D.G. Curry, and I would like to present to you the official Shogun of the Heavens YouTube channel, where we will be walking the path in each chapter of Book 1, Fall of Immortals. Narrating this thrilling, action-packed, and dramatic fantasy will be yours truly, I.D.G. Curry, aka, for these sample readings, the Prophet of Pagulane. Now, without further ado, enter with me as we plummet to Gaia and into Book 1, Fall of Immortals. Prophet, proceed. Chapter 13. The Proposal. 20,000 soldiers spent several weeks marching since an open war was decided on in the Selvan throne room. The cheering mobs of Selvan filled every soldier with their nation's pride as the legion assembled in front of Selva City. The entire royal family and the nobles who served in their administration observed from above the wall. Queen Elu was accompanied by the cub princes. They lined up behind her in order of age from eldest to youngest, starting with Micah, followed by Vale and Vasang. Queen Elu was arguably the most alluring female in Selva City. The white lioness had the feminine frame of a humanoid Peterball sphinx. Her white tail whipped around behind her curvy hips, and a narrow dark mane ran from above her emerald green eyes, back across the top of her head, and down her back to her round hips. Always in absolute vision, Queen Elu wore little clothing. Jewels covered her two nipples, and golden silk held up her breast. She joined hands with her husband, King Lovi, as the two appeared unified, representing love and stability within the kingdom. Battle drums roared from the city walls as the army begins to mobilize. For the occasion, Zolin had new armor and clothes made, ones more suitable for his prestigious position. He hired Selva's finest blacksmith to aid Xanatos in its crafting. The forger was able to deliver Zolin's every request, creating a manica from tungsten ore, focusing on free movement around the elbow, and plating a sleeve with the rare metal. A clawed gauntlet was added to rip throats from the enemy. The steel-tipped claws were as deadly as a tiger's swipe. The palm of the gauntlet was covered in leather, still allowing the weather to form a fist, and the finishing touches were applied so that the entire accessory matched Zolin's black and gold saber. The material composition of Zolin's clothing was of the highest quality, though he ensured that the satyr did not use any fabric or fashion that would hinder his movements or become cumbersome. He wanted to focus on discretion and maneuverability, adding an exotic design which lined the rim of his robes, admittedly for embellishment. Xemnas crawled from beneath Zaldin's black cloak and onto the horse's head, wagging his tail as the League of Pagulane led an army to a bloody purpose. 10 miles marching from Selva City, Leonidas and Hector branched off from the main force, journeying west towards conquest. 10 miles marching from Selva City, Leonidas and Hector branched off from the main force, journeying west towards conquest. The further north the campaign traveled, the more frequent the legion encountered ambushes and brief skirmishes from the Gallic tribes squatting on the land. The newly disciplined fighting force repelled every attempt, holding defensive formation and counterattacking in waves. The war marshal forbade any carnivorous actions on the battlefield during the march, and enemies turned to retreat were allowed to flee. Many in the ranks began feeling resentment towards Zolin for this decision, as it went against their very nature. To devour prey and chase them as they flee is the very essence of the relationship between the hunter and the hunted. The small triumphs along the road kept morale from wavering, though hunger and dissent led to the occasional brawl. Tensions and restlessness were tempered by battle, though admittedly, after hearing the reputation the League carried, and with many soldiers also bearing witness to the stories, none dared to challenge the war marshal. The Gallic tribes continued to lose territory to Selva's army, retreating as they arrived and then concentrating all of their forces behind Bastia's gated wall. Many miles southwest of the encroaching onslaught at Bastia, Hector's legion had arrived outside the city of Dalston. The weather was arid, as a strange mixture of desert, plains, and forest with an unforgiving sun. The rising wind would at first caress the infantry soldiers with cool relief. Then, as the gale gained momentum, the dust and heat would pepper the hungry legion with miserable humidity. The city was very well maintained and attracted all from near and far to attend its theatrum, a place famed for hosting some of the finest poets and theatre on the continent. In fact, the theatrum brought in so much revenue that the city was, from then on, built in a similar image, using marble columns, wood, and brick. As for the castle, it was built more similarly to the design of a temple, modeled after the same constructs used for worshipping the highest beings. It possessed stained glass windows of artwork and cultural designs. Two large pillars stood beside the front gate of the bronze and marble structure. Aside from the songs and stages, Dalston also was known for its philosophers and scientific pursuits. The city's scholars were among the first to achieve alchemy. The ancient art provided the Dalans the means to create ballista and other siege engines, their most prideful accomplishment being the Jupiter cannon. This massive cannon was mounted above the main gate. Connected to the main gate was an junction that led into the city, granting authorized access to the wall which housed the Jupiter cannon and providing a restricted area for maintenance and reloading. Great power will always come at a sacrifice, however, as the cannon can only be fired once, and it almost takes an hour to reload the next cannonball. At the center of the city, within the castle throne room, King Norvik was attempting to calm a rattled court. My lords, the city depends on our rationality. Let us not fall into a frenzy, called Norvik as his blond, curly beard hung in front of an embellishing gold necklace. We have yet to receive word of their intentions, my king. However, the banners flapping outside are indeed Selvin, said Bartholomew, the master at arms. A war veteran, Bartholomew was charged with the city's defense and led the Dalston army. He and Baron Marcus, Dalston's regent, advised Norvik and heavily influenced the kingdom's military actions. If I may, sire, there is surely a reasonable explanation for this apparent incursion, stated Marcus. The throne room doors burst open, interrupting the speculations of dread and ambiguity. A messenger from the wall interrupted with a crucial message from the Selvan army. Sire, my lords, forgive me, but I bring word from the Selvan infantry's commander, he cried out. Well, what are you waiting for, man? Speak! King Norvik shouted, shocking the messenger out of his paralysis. Apologies, sire. Selva is declaring war on us and offering us terms of surrender, the messenger replied, trembling while barely holding a salute. King Lovi must think much of himself to think we would yield to him. His obsession with those savages from the trees must have finally made him mad. Norvik snapped, slamming his fist on the armrest of his throne. We have protected our land for just as long as Selva without fail. They may have the largest force in the region, yet with the Jupiter cannon, We could destroy half of their legion with a single shot, Marcus added. According to our scouts, my lord, only roughly 5,000 of Selva's soldiers have marched to our gates, added the messenger. What were the terms, soldier? Inquired Bartholomew. Their general is demanding that we submit and swear fealty to Selva, forsaking all lands, taxes, and titles. The king has until tomorrow morning to respond to the general's offer. He will await you at the main gate in the morning, the messenger answered. What? Selva has the nerve to march on us with such a paltry force and demand his majesty become Lovi's ward. I'll be damned before I allow that to stand, said Bartholomew in outrage. Shogun of the Heavens Book 1 is available on Amazon and Amazon Kindle or for order at your local Barnes & Noble's bookstore. The Amazon link to purchase the book is in the description of the video. Behold, as we all dive into the world of myths and fiction. Book 2, The Throne Crusher, is still set to be released on December 9th, 2024. This installment changes the tempo of the story, allowing us to go deeper into popular role characters who will now step to the forefront of this epic tale. On this channel, we will be providing you a series of samples read from the Shogun of the Heavens book series and complemented by visuals from the story as envisioned by the author. Please like and share the video, subscribe to our channel, and comment below. Then, while you're at it, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, where you can compare our competing galleries of artworks brought to life from the story. Thank you.